Today we are going to see how does a Falcon 9 reusable rocket works by looking at all the procedures and components of the Falcon 9 rocket. Also we will scout the Falcon 9 journey into space. Falcon 9 is the world's first orbital class partially reusable medium lift launch vehicle that is produced by SpaceX, an American aerospace manufacturer and space transportation services. SpaceX was founded in 2002 by Elon Musk with the goal of reducing space transportation costs to enable the colonization of Mars. Falcon 9 rocket has two stages, with the first stage capable of landing vertically, the most expensive parts of the rocket, which in turn drives down the cost of space access. Both the first and the second stages are powered by SpaceX Merlin engines using cryogenic liquid oxygen and rocket-grade kerosene as propellants. Both of these burn together and generate thrust throughout the first stage. The Merlin engines powered by liquid fuel and liquid oxidizer. Both fuel and oxidizer are partially mixed with each other and the combustion takes place. The primary stage having 9 Merlin engines, each generating 845 kilonewtons of thrust, also generating 981 kilonewtons of thrust and vacuum. Payload is the vital part of the rocket containing the Dragon capsule. The Dragon is a class of partially reusable cargo spacecraft developed by SpaceX. It's the sole spacecraft presently flying that's capable of coming back significant amounts of shipment to Earth, and is that the first private spacecraft to take humans to the space station. Let's see the working of its two variants, namely Crew Dragon and Cargo Dragon. On the launching day, the first stage of the rocket had 2 tanks. It contains a liquid oxidizer and fuel. Each of these components are injected into the Merlin engine. The 9 Merlin engines are ignited. Each of the engines generate 845 kilonewtons of thrust, which is total 7,607 kilonewtons of thrust. This thrust propels the rocket 70 seconds. After takeoff, the Falcon 9 reaches supersonic speed of approximate 158 seconds into flight. The first stage engines are shut down, which is called the main engine cutoff. With the help of the cold gas thruster, the first stage fell into Earth. 8 seconds later, the second stage single Merlin vacuum engine ignition begins. A 7-minute burn that brings Falcon 9 and Dragon into lower orbit. 40 seconds after the second stage ignition, Dragon's protective nose cone gets separated. 577 seconds after launch, the second stage engine cuts off. 35 seconds later, the Dragon separates from the Falcon 9 second stage and achieves its preliminary orbit. As Dragon follows the space station, a few seconds later the nose cap of the Dragon opens. The spacecraft then establishes UHF communication using its Scott's ultra-high frequency communication unit. The Dragon will stop over on the space station and the crew will work there for the next 1 month to unload Dragon's payload and reload it with shipment which Dragon gonna bring back to Earth. Now we will see the steps by which Falcon 9 returns back to Earth and lands successfully. The booster is programmed to escort a precise flight path when returning back to Earth, and it must autonomously perform a series of control maneuvers in order to sustain that path and land vertically on the landing pad. 3 types of flight controls are there. Number 1 is cold gas thrusters. Number 2 is the large lever arm between the thrusters and the rocket's center of mass. They are also used to control the rocket at times during the flight when the gimbaled main engines are shut off. Then comes the deployable grid fins. 4 titanium grid fins are mounted at the top of the first stage booster and are deployed during the rocket's descent back into Earth's lower atmosphere. The fins are aerodynamic control surfaces that are used for precise control of the rocket's position and orientation prior to landing. The 4 grid fins alone are primarily responsible for the incredible 10-meter landing accuracy of the Falcon 9 first stage booster. Then comes the reignitable engine. The Falcon 9 first stage needs to perform 3 separate burns at particular stages of the flight. Hence, it's necessary for the main engines to be reignitable. The main engines first ignite during the launch. The second burn happens after the flip maneuver, slowing the rocket's re-entry velocity, and finally the engines must fire again when the rocket nears the landing platform. For stability, the engines are arranged in what SpaceX calls an octaweb configuration. One central engine surrounded by 8 more. The onboard computer on the Falcon 9 makes flight corrections on the fly to maintain flight trajectory. The Falcon 9 is equipped with an inertial navigation system that uses several sensors to measure the position, orientation, and velocity of the rocket. A global positioning system (GPS) is also used to measure the geolocation of the rocket. The INS and GPS data are then fed to the onboard computer in real time, and the computer checks the information against the pre-programmed flight path. This data on the orientation, position, velocity, acceleration, and altitude of the rocket is used by the onboard computer to make necessary flight adjustments to enable the rocket to achieve a smooth vertical landing upon re-entry. The total span of the deployed landing gear is approximately 18 meters, and the entire landing system weighs less than 2,100 kg. When its mission at the orbital laboratory is completed, Mission Control Houston can send commands to detach the Dragon from the space station, and so the crew can unharness the vehicle through commands from the crew command panel. Around 5 hours after Dragon leaves the station, it will conduct its deorbit burn that lasts up to 10 minutes. It takes upon half an hour for Dragon to enter the Earth's atmosphere, then it splashes down in the Pacific Ocean. So guys, this was for today. Give us your thoughts on this in the comment section, and if you appreciate our content, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Share this video with your family and friends. We will meet soon in a new video. Thank you. Jai Hind.